Why is granularity so important when it comes to SharePoint backup and recovery? There are really two sides to it, granularity of backup and granularity of recovery. Granularity of restore is probably the most obvious one, so let's tackle that one first. Disasters can happen at any level in a SharePoint environment. A disaster can be the loss of a data center, a single server failing, a site being deleted, a corrupted document. I think at some point in life, everyone's had that Word or Excel document that when you try and open it, you get an error message that says, sorry, your file's corrupted and won't open. And of course, it usually happens right before a big report is due. But which disasters are the most common? If you're using SharePoint to store documents, you're probably going to wind up with thousands and thousands of documents as the system grows. Even if the odds of corruption are low, at some point, some document is going to be corrupted. Site deletion is also fairly common. You might be using sites for projects or for meetings. When that meeting is over or that project is complete, someone's probably going to delete the site. Inevitably, once that happens, someone's going to need an item or something else that was on that site. So what do you do when that happens? If you're using SQL backups or really any of the out-of-the-box tools, your only choice is to restore the entire database somewhere. And then you have to try and copy that document back from that database that you've set up back to the production environment. It's probably going to take a lot of time, and you're going to lose metadata in the process. A true SharePoint backup system should be able to handle all your disasters, both big and small. You need to be able to restore the individual documents or the list items, and you need to maintain their properties, their securities, their metadata. You also need to be able to do this quickly. You don't have time to restore the entire database to get back one item. And you shouldn't even have to temporarily stage the entire database just to recover that one item. I mean, that's what you have to do with some of the other SharePoint recovery solutions that are out there. And you also need to be able to handle the bigger disasters, like the loss of an entire data center. You need to be able to recover not just the SharePoint content, but the entire SharePoint platform. I mean, this includes things like the configuration and the settings, the search and index databases, IAS settings, custom web parts, custom solutions. You really don't want to have to waste time redeploying and reconfiguring SharePoint to get back up and running after a disaster. And when you restore, you need to provide users with the same look and feel and the same functionality as before the disaster. If you have web parts in your SharePoint environment and you're relying on them for everyday use of SharePoint, bringing the content back without these web parts isn't going to get you back up and running when you have a disaster. With DocAv, we give you the full granularity of restore. It's from the true item level restore through that complete platform level recovery. You can quickly and easily recover just that one document or recover the entire platform with all of the settings. DocAv also includes high availability disaster recovery tools to truly minimize any downtime if you do have one of those big disasters. And of course, with all of our data protection software, we always maintain the properties, the security, the metadata, and the look and feel of the system. We give you the right tools to deal with any disaster, big or small. So now let's talk about granularity of backup. The first question you need to ask yourself is all the data in your SharePoint environment of the same value to your business? You probably have some critical sites that people use every day that you really like to back up as aggressively as you can. You also probably have some other sites and content that hardly ever get used, or that just isn't as important to your business. If that's the case, then it doesn't make sense to back it up all at once. If you're using SQL backups, or really any of the out-of-the-box tools, you're backing up everything together all at once. Backups take a lot of time and use a lot of storage space, and so it's unrealistic to do them more than once a day. And some of that critical content, some of those critical sites, should probably be backed up more often than that. And if you really analyze it, the critical content, the things that are changing frequently that people are using every day, is probably a small subset of your entire SharePoint environment. I mean, I probably have a few thousand documents saved on my laptop, but in any given week I only use a handful of them. Most of those documents I haven't opened in months or even years. The same thing happens in SharePoint. If you need to back up critical content, do you really have the storage space to waste on all of this other content with every backup? And so that's why granularity of backup is so important. With DocAv, you have the ability to perform not only full content backups, but also the ability to schedule and perform granular backups, from the item level all the way to the entire SharePoint platform, and everything in between. What this allows you to do is to target that critical content, and to back it up more frequently and more aggressively than that less critical SharePoint content. This also lets you make efficient use of your storage assets, taking your critical content and backing it up to the appropriate storage devices, and then taking the rest of your SharePoint content, the less critical stuff, and backing it up to a lower storage tier. So with Backav's granular backup and restore functionalities, you can truly match your backup strategies with your business needs and make efficient use of the investments you've already made. With Backav, you'll finally have the powerful tools you need to protect your SharePoint environment at any level.